This is fehling solution, and this is your tolerance reagent. This is your tolerance reagent. Only aldehyde will give test with both of these. So first we will see tolerance reagent test with aldehyde. When we add tolerance reagent, we are getting silver. We will get silver deposited on the inner side of our test tube, and aldehyde will be oxidized. Aldehyde will be oxidized. So it is also called silver mirror test. It is also called silver mirror test. You find your test tube starts glowing. Your test tube starts glowing as silver is deposited from inside, and you can see your image in that test tube. As silver is deposited, it starts shining. Your test tube starts shining if aldehyde is present there. When you heat with ammonical silver nitrate, which is tolerance reagent, your test tube starts glowing due to deposition of silver on the inner walls of the test tube. Your test tube starts glowing, and that's why it is called silver mirror test. A mirror is formed on the test tube. Your test tube now becomes a mirror. So that's why it is called silver mirror test, and aldehyde is oxidized. With fehling solution, when we are taking aldehyde, this is a solution of copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartrate. Copper sulfate and sodium potassium tartrate will form this, and we are getting again aldehyde is Cu2O, red coloration. Brick red color will appear when you heat it. When you heat the test tube with this solution, then you find color changes to brick red color. Red coloration appear in the test tube, and aldehyde is oxidized. Aldehyde is oxidized. This is called fehling test. This is called fehling test. When red coloration appears, it confirms the presence of aldehyde in the given compound, and when silver mirror is formed for a particular compound, it also confirms the presence of aldehyde. But when we have ketone, on adding ammonical silver nitrate solution or tolerance reagent, no reaction takes place. No reaction takes place. Similarly with fehling solution, ketone will not give any test. Ketone will not give any test. So to distinguish between aldehyde and ketone, we can use tolerance reagent and fehling solution. Any of one from this we can use to distinguish between aldehyde and ketone. Aldehyde will give both these tests. Aliphatic aldehyde will give both these tests, tolerance as well as fehling, whereas ketone, none of the ketone will give any of the test. So easily we can distinguish between aldehyde and ketone by using both of any of the two tests. We can distinguish between aldehyde and ketone. One thing you must remember, for aromatic aldehydes, for example, benzaldehyde is an aromatic aldehyde. It will also give tolerance reagent test. It will also give tolerance reagent test, that is AgNH3 whole twice and positive. It will give tolerance reagent test COONA. And your silver is deposited. But benzaldehyde will not give fehling test, will not give fehling solution test. No reaction takes place, because fehling is very weak oxidizing agent. It cannot reduce benzaldehyde. It cannot oxidize benzaldehyde, but tolerance is little stronger than fehling solution, so it can oxidize benzaldehyde, but fehling cannot oxidize benzaldehyde. So if you have to distinguish between aliphatic and aromatic aldehydes, for example, if you have to distinguish between benzaldehyde and methanol, ethanol. I'm writing here ethanol. Then which test you can use? We can use fehling test. We can use fehling reagent because benzaldehyde will not give fehling solution test. No coloration, no red coloration. Whereas ethanol will give fehling solution test. Brick red coloration appears. Which is fehling solution? C2 positive plus 5 OH negative. 2Cu, 2 positive plus 5 hydroxyl. Clear? To distinguish between aromatic and aliphatic aldehydes, you have to use fehling test, not tolerance. Tolerance is to distinguish between aldehyde and ketone. For benzaldehyde and aliphatic aldehydes, use fehling solution test. Okay students? आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट फॉर एल्डिहाइड एंड कीटोन्स पहले जो हमने किए हैं एल्डिहाइड कीटोन के डिस्टिंग्विश टेस्ट किए हैं विद टॉलरेंस रिएजेंट एंड फेलिंग सॉल्यूशन. अब उसी में आगे कंटिन्यू ये वाला जो टेस्ट है हमारा आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट, ये भी कुछ कंपाउंड्स को डिस्टिंग्विश करने के लिए बहुत हेल्पफुल है. जैसे कि आपके एल्डिहाइड, 2 टाइप्स के एल्डिहाइड हैं, उनको आपस में डिस्टिंग्विश करना है, या 2 टाइप के कीटोन है उनको आपस में डिस्टिंग्विश करना है, तो हमारा आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट बड़ा हेल्पफुल होता है. जो अल्कोहल्स भी देते हैं, किस टाइप के एल्डिहाइड और कीटोन, ये वाला टेस्ट देंगे जिनके पास टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप प्रेजेंट होगा. जिनके पास क्या होगा? टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप्स. जैसे ये हमारा एसीटोन, ये एसिटल्डिहाइड. एसिटल्डिहाइड के अलावा आप नोटिस करोगे कि हमारे और कोई एल्डिहाइड्स ये वाला टेस्ट नहीं देते, आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट नहीं देते, क्योंकि क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है? टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप विद कार्बोनिल, अटैच्ड कार्बन विद ऑक्सीजन. टर्मिनल मिथाइल विद अटैच्ड कार्बन विद ऑक्सीजन. कीटोन तो वेरियस हो सकते हैं, क्योंकि एक साइड जो उसकी ब्रांचिंग है आर की, इसके इधर वाले कोई भी चेंज हो जाएं, या इधर आर और इधर मिथाइल ग्रुप, वो तो सेम ही बात है. तो कोई भी कीटोन्स जो है हमारे ज़्यादा आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट दे सकते हैं, जबकि हमारे एल्डिहाइड में एक तो रिस्ट्रिक्टेड है आपका H होना चाहिए, दूसरी साइड CH3 होगा तभी ये टेस्ट होगा. तो वो ये सारी कंडीशन कौन सेटिस्फाई कर रहा है? सिर्फ एसिटल्डिहाइड या फिर इथेनॉल. तो टेस्ट होता क्या है किसी में भी? आप I2NaOH के साथ, लाइकवाइज I2NaOH के साथ ट्रीट करेंगे, ऑक्सीडेशन होनी है और आपके पास आइडोफॉर्म प्रिपेयर हो जाएगा. पेल येलो प्रेसिपिटेट्स ऑफ आइडोफॉर्म. पेल येलो प्रेसिपिटेट्स ऑफ आइडोफॉर्म जो है हमारा इस टेस्ट को कंफर्म करती है. जब आप उनको हीटिंग प्रोवाइड करते हो और आपके पास सोल्यूशन के अंदर पेल येलो प्रेसिपिटेट्स आना शुरू हो जाते हैं, इट कंफर्म्स द प्रेजेंस ऑफ टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप. किसकी प्रेजेंस को शो करते हैं? ये टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप विद कार्बोनिल. ये कार्बोनिल का एडजेसेंट कार्बन है, वो क्या है? हमारा टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप है कोई ना कोई. और यहाँ पे आपका HCOO और Na बन जाएगा. ऐसे यहाँ पे भी CH3 COON, यहाँ ये बचती ना मोइटी, तो उसका ये बन गया. या लाइकवाइज यहाँ पे भी हो जाएगा सेम इसी तरीके से. तो दिस इज आइडोफॉर्म टेस्ट फॉर एल्डिहाइड एंड कीटोन्स. रिक्वायरमेंट इज टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप अटैच्ड टू द कार्बोनिल कार्बन. सिमिलरली इन अल्कोहल्स, टर्मिनल मिथाइल ग्रुप विद कार्बन containing hydroxyl group. In both the cases, methyl group's presence is necessary at the end of the chain with attached carbonyl. This is the iodoform test. Let's start with the sum of distinguished test. Now, first example is to distinguish between propanol and propanone. Clearly we can see that one is aldehyde and the second is ketone. To distinguish this, we have two tests. One is tolerance and the second is fehling solution. So we can use either of the two, CH3, CH2, C double bond OH. This is our aldehyde. It will give tolerance reagent test, silver, diamine silver positive, and we are getting CH3 CH2 C double bond O negative plus our silver. Yeah, silver mirror only you can write, silver mirror formation of silver mirror. In case of ketone-Tollen reagent, no silver mirror formation. So students, in case of propanol or aldehyde, it will give Tollen reagent positive or silver mirror formation, but in case of ketone, propanol, no silver mirror is formed. Okay, next is benzaldehyde and acetone. Again, we are having benzaldehyde is an aldehyde and acetone is a ketone. You have to distinguish between aldehyde and ketone. But remember one thing, in case of benzaldehyde, you use only tollens. In this case, we can either use tollens or fehling. Tollens or fehling. It will give test. But in case of benzaldehyde, specifically you will take tollens. You will take tollens because benzaldehyde also will not give fehling solution test. Acetone will not give either of the two. Not tollens, not fehling. So fehling here has no significance. We have to use tollens reagent test. We have to use tollens reagent test, which is diamine silver salt or ammonical silver solution of silver nitrate. So here we again get silver mirror formation on test tube and no silver mirror is formed. Right? Now next, pentanone 2 and pentane 3 one. Write the formulas: CH3, CH2, CH2, C double bond O, CH3. One is pentane 2 on, second position पे ketone group है, and in the second example, third position. CH2, C double bond O, CH2, CH3. Suggest one test to distinguish between pentanone 2 and pentane 3 one. Means ketonic group is present at second position or ketonic group is present at 3 position. You have any test which can distinguish between the two ketones? Yes, we have one test, that is Iodoforlm test. Which test you will use? Iodoforlm test, because in this case we have terminal methyl group. Methyl group attached to carbonyl is terminal, but in this case we have no terminal methyl group which is present, as one is ethyl and second is also ethyl. We need this to be terminal attached with carbonyl. So it will not give Iodoforlm test. I2NaOH, no yellow PPTs or Iodoforlm test absent. But in this case, I2NaOH Iodoforlm test is positive. Here Iodoforlm test is negative. Right? Which is the product? CH3, CH2, break from here. This is your acid and the second is your CHI3, pale yellow PPTs of Iodoforlm. Pale yellow PPTs of Iodoforlm. Right. So we have distinguished between two similar functional groups, that is ketones, by using Iodoforlm test. If two different functional groups are there, we are using tollens or fehling. Tollens for aromatic aldehyde with ketone, and for aliphatic aldehyde and ketone we can use either of the two tests, tollens or fehling. This is all about distinction between aldehyde and ketones. In next video we will distinguish between phenols and carboxylic functional group. Right students? Thank you so much. Subscribe for more videos.